Hello, children. So, as you all know, that we were discussing chapter number one of civics on equality, and today we are going to see the next point in this chapter, that is equality in Indian democracy. You know very well that the constitution of our country recognizes every person as equal. This means that every individual, means each and every person in the country, including male and female persons from all castes, religions, tribes, educational and economic background, are recognized as equal. Everyone, whether he belongs to any religion or any social background, is recognized as equal. This is not to say that inequality ceases to exist. It doesn't. But at least in democratic India, the principle of the equality of all persons is recognized through the constitution, with the help of constitution. While earlier no law existed, initially there were no any kind of law existed in the country related to equality. But now, as you all know, today we have many kind of law related to this. So there are many law exist to protect people from discrimination and ill treatment. Now there are several that work to see that people are treated with dignity as equals. This recognition of equality includes some of the following provisions in the constitution. What kind of provisions are there so that the dignity of each and every person will be maintained? Nobody will be treated discriminately. There are various ways by which the people can be treated equally, and what kind of things the government has done here, we are going to see that. As you know very well that uh, what this means basically is that every person, from right from the president of the country or the prime minister of the country to the person like Kanta, a domestic worker, has to obey the same law. Second, no person can be discriminated against on the basis of their religion, race, caste, place of birth, or whether they are male or female. Third, every person has access to all public places, including playground, hotels, shops, and market. All persons can be publicly available wells, roads, and bathing ghats. Fourth, untouchability is completely abolished. So, what does this means actually? That right from each and every person is equal before the law. Right from the prime minister or the president of the country to the ordinary men or women like you and me, all are equal before the law. Even no person can be treated against on the basis of their religion, race, caste, place of birth, or whether they are male or female. Means nobody will be discriminated against on the basis of their religion or any kind of social background, whether they are male, female, rich, or poor. Every person has access to all public places. Means each and every person can go anywhere now, but earlier it was not like that. The broken people, to which we call Dalit, or the lower caste people, were not allowed to go to some public places, like people were not allowed to go to the water places where the upper caste people were going. Even nobody was allowed to go to school, and if anybody goes to school, they had to sit on the floor. We have seen that in the story of the Om Prakash Valmiki. So in the shops, hospitals, schools, even in the offices, in every kind of public places now, each and every person, right from high class society people or low class society people, or higher caste or lower caste, rich or poor, each and every person has access to all kind of public places now. And yes, untouchability has completely abolished. According to the Article 17 of Indian Constitution, which clearly states that untouchability is an offense and anyone doing so is punishable by law. The Untouchability Offences Act of 1955, renamed to Protect of Civil Rights Act 1976, provides penalties for offenses arising out of untouchability. So, in this way, untouchability is completely banned with the help of some of the steps taken by the government. Now, what kind of steps the government has taken to implement the equality? These are two ways in which the government has tried to maintain the equality in the society. So these are the first, the through the law, and second through the government programs or schemes. One of so there are two steps. One of the steps that the government has taken includes midday meal scheme. You would have heard about this midday meal scheme in the sixth standard also. So midday meal, you know very well. With midday meal is what all kind of elementary government school now provides. The midday meal means the meal in the school at the mid time of the school, to each and every person, each and every student of the school sitting in the same line, whether they belong to any caste, any religion, or any social background, all are sitting together and all are having the meal together. And this kind of scheme is helping India to uh, maintain the social harmony, or it is very very helpful to teach the people how to sit together and eat together. And in this way the people are becoming able to avoid any kind of untouchability or any kind of social differences. So these are some of the steps the government has taken. This is the logo of the midday meal scheme. So now in the next point we are going to see the issues of equality in other democracies. Let's try to understand what kind of issues of equalities are there in other democracies. So you are probably wondering whether India is only country which is democratic country in which there is equality and where the struggle for equality continues to exist. The truth is that in many democratic countries around the world, the issue of equality continues to be the key issue around which communities struggle. So, for example, the United States of America, the African Americans whose ancestors were the slaves who were brought over from Africa continue to describe their lives today as largely unequal. This despite the fact that there was a movement in the late 1950s to push for equal rights for African Americans. Prior to this, African Americans were treated extremely unequally in United States, and in the United States they were treated completely unequally. So for this, in all this scenario, the civil right movement started, and this civil right movement has uh, proved the equality among the American and African American people. So in this way we can say that there was a person whose name was Rosa Parks, about whom we are going to see in this chapter. But before that, we are going to see some important facts like, there was a movement in late 1950s to push for equal rights for African American. Prior to this, African Americans were treated extremely unequally in the United States and denied equality through law. For example, when traveling by bus, they either had to sit at the back of the bus or get up from their seat whenever a white person wishes to sit on that seat. So Rosa Parks Rosa Parks was the person, an African American woman, tired from a long day work. At work, she refused to give up her seat on a bus to a white man on 1st December 1955. Her refusal that day started a huge agitation against the unequal ways in which African Americans were. So, in this way, we can say this movement, the that to which we call the civil right movement in the USA, started for the equal rights for the African American as well. So, the Civil Right Act in 1964 prohibited discrimination on the basis of race, religion, or national origin. It also treated that all schools would be open for African American children, because as the African American people children were not going to the same school where the white people's children were going to school, and that they would no longer have to attend separate school especially set up for them. However, despite this majority, a majority of African Americans continue to be among the poorest in the country. Most African American children can only afford to attend government schools that have fewer facilities and poorly qualified teachers, and as compared to white students who either to go to private schools or live in areas where the government schools are as highly rated as private schools. Uh, in this way, the civil rights movement started, and this civil rights movement proved the equality amongst the African American people also. But as you know very well, that after this civil rights movement also, there are many people in the country, those who are African American, are poor and they are not affording to go to private school, and therefore many of the children are going to government school. But even then, in the government school, the poorly qualified teachers are there, which is not providing them the good quality of education. So in this way, we can say. Civil rights movement has helped to the people of the country. Then now we are going to see the challenges of democracy. No country can be described as being completely democratic. There are always communities and individuals trying to expand the idea of democracy and push for a greater recognition of equality on existing as well as new issues central to this, the struggle for the recognition of all persons as equal and for their dignity to be maintained. In this book, you will read about how this issue of equality affects various aspects of our daily lives in democratic India. As you read this chapter, this think about whether the equality of all person and their being able to be maintain their dignity is upheld. These all the issues we are going to understand in this chapter. Thank you very much. Now this chapter is over and we will do the question and answers in the next period.